So I'd like to welcome Rico, Ty, and Jessica.
Thank you, Mercedes. So we are here to talk about the social equity program and the technical assistance side of it and the training. We are the current vendors for the program. We have been part of it for the past 3 years and loved every single year and working with the CCC. So what does that program actually look like? You guys heard Celia talk a little bit about it, but it is a pathway that helps people enter the cannabis industry if they've been impacted by the war on drugs, and they've been impacted by cannabis prohibition, disproportionate arrests in their area, things like that. So what makes us qualified to be here? Why is it GreenLight? Ty, why are we doing this? Why'd they pick GreenLight to do?
Thanks, Jess. So my name is Ty, and I obviously represent GreenLight Business Solutions. And Jess, your question, why is GreenLight a part of it? Well, first of all, it's a passion of ours. It's something that we really believe in. Been a part of the program since the first cohort, and we're still a part of it. And we will continue to be a part of it as long as the CCC asks us to and wants us to. My specific role and function on the team, I've been in the industry on the plant touching side for 11 years. So I kind of bring that insider perspective, the do's and don'ts, if you will. And, I come from California, so bigger market, has a different set of industries, but yeah, I'm also an entrepreneur, a founder of GreenLight. So I do have a business mind, and I try to, as best I can, to provide like guidance to people going through the program. Anyone going through the program, please take advantage of the question and answer part of every single course that we teach if you attend the live ones. But yeah, to answer your question, it's a passion of GreenLight's to move equity forward, to participate, to make an impact. And we have a diverse team. We come at this from a few different angles, and we say that we take a mentorship approach to licensing. So yeah.
Thanks, Ty. So Rico, talk to me about your background. Do you have that plant touching too? Are you the exact same as Ty?
No, one of the things that we talk about a whole lot in terms of business success is not having a whole lot of people just like you. I think one of the great strengths of GreenLight, especially in terms of the social equity program, is that we're all entrepreneurs, but we bring different sets of skills. I'm a Massachusetts native. I was born and brought up in New Bedford. I went to University of Massachusetts in Amherst. I went to Suffolk Law School in Boston. Been involved in human resources and administration, staffing, development, and business success strategies for over 25 years. I started a company called Centaur Consulting 25 years ago. And that company has been all about helping businesses to succeed, thrive, and really be successful. So it's important not just to have the philosophy of business development. It's very important to be able to understand what that really means, in terms of your feet touching the ground. How do you actually put operations into work? How do you actually write a business plan? How do you actually hire the right people? You'll hear us, for those of you who've been in the program before, you've heard us talk an awful lot about skill and will. In order to be successful, just getting to licensing is just the tip of the iceberg. Getting your license is the tip of the iceberg. Now you have to staff up. Now you have to operate. Now you have to do operating, standard operating procedures. You have to make sure that you hire and staff the right people, training and development. So many different pieces. It's very, very important for us as a company to have a variation of skills and abilities, so that when folks are talking about the philosophy of business success, we can really talk to every piece of it. My background is not plant touching at all. It's really in organizational development and making sure that once you get in business, you stay in business and you're successful.
And a little bit about my background. I have a legal background. I'm an attorney by trade. I have a background in marketing as well. I've worked in corrections facilities. I've helped people after they get out of the corrections institution and get back on their feet. So we really are all balancing each other out, like Rico said. So with all of that experience, it's not just our team, us three faces up here. We have an entire team at GreenLight who help us as well, and they are all different. So what we bring to the table is we're teaching these courses, right? So there's these set universal courses that everyone but ancillary businesses go through. Ancillary has their own little tracking gray that you can see that's unique to ancillary businesses, which are not plant touching businesses, but businesses that support plant touching, right? So they're the ones actually making the labels. They're the ones who are shipping labels or making physical containers, right? But they aren't touching the plant. So they have their own track. Everyone goes through the universal courses, and then from there, it breaks out into the entrepreneur track and core and entry. The entrepreneur track is meant for people who want to own their own business. So we break it down into sub-tracks by what type of business. And all these courses that you see here, application and licensing, actually walking through the application itself, what to expect, pro tips and tricks, how to design your facility. Those are all specialized based on what business you want to open. The core and entry tracks, on the other hand, are meant for people who want to enter in the workforce. So we help people write resumes. We help people prep for interviews. We did a couple mock interviews, right? Then talk to the mirror, which I see some familiar faces in here, so they probably know all of our sayings by now with that. We talk about the cannabis plant as a whole. If you're going to enter the retail industry as a bud tender, which is one of the lower level positions, you need to know how to sell the product. So you need to know what the product actually is, right? So we break that down as well in skills-based trainings. Ty, Rico, what were your favorite courses and why? And people who are in this breakout room, write your favorite course in the chat. I see Cliff in here. Oh, Cliff, we missed you too. So Ty and Rico, what were your favorite courses?
I'll jump in. I like the courses that really give a well-rounded insight to some of the things that you're going to be facing if you decide to get into this industry. So I mentioned earlier, I like the accounting and taxation because it goes over 280E, the IRS tax code 280E. I like the fundraising and the financial aspect of this because a lot of people maybe have never built a financial deck or worked on evaluation or really don't know anything about raising capital. Yeah, so those also like things like from testing and like requirements for your labeling and packaging, just being exposed to this type of knowledge just gets you thinking ahead. So I appreciate those types of courses.
See, for me, it's interesting because I kind of take two opposite ends. One of my favorite courses was predatory lending because we find so many potential entrepreneurs get themselves into difficulty by signing up for terms and conditions that are predatory and not in their best interest financially. And then the opposite side of that is post-licensure operations. It's one thing to get in business, it's a whole nother thing to stay in business. My background has been in helping companies to help to be successful. I've had ESPN, I've had BET, I've had the Bank of America, big organizations, and helping them to be successful. When you think about post-licensure operations in the cannabis industry, you're talking about actually operating your business, staffing the right folks, recruiting the right folks, finding investors, finding ways to be able to get those ancillary businesses networking together so that you learn how to build your operation and build your business, both from a social equity standpoint and from a business development standpoint. So I think all of the courses we have enjoyed. I think that the majority of folks, the feedback that we've gotten is that it's kind of a step-by-step process. We call it the playbook. To be able to run a playbook, to be able to make sure that you have the right kinds of standard operating procedures, that you have the right kinds of books, and that you keep your business in order. So it's plan your work and work your plan.
Absolutely. And I see someone in the chat, their favorite was facility design for cultivation, which was also one of my favorites this year, where we actually broke down what a cultivation facility could look like, where your dry room would be, where your trim room would be, where the lockers, the showers, all of that stuff, and actually looked at a couple different plans